The Momentum 947 Cycle Challenge proudly presents the UCI 1.1 Ladies Race, brought to you by Momentum and 947. The Momentum 947 Cycle Challenge broke new ground in 2015 when cycling's international governing body, the UCI, granted the women's race 1.1 status, thus attracting the largest competitive women's field in the race's history.
The route's tough on a normal day, so I think the main players are going to watch each other. So I think the toughest riders will actually get to the finish, and it will be like a small bunch sprint finish today.
Yeah, I'm really hoping that the 1.1 status makes it an exciting race, but it probably will be a little bit tactical, but this route is so hard, so anything can happen.
Rosalie Kubanya, member of the Time Freight squad, one of the 21 teams that made up the women's peloton. There were 3 international squads as well.
I'm here for the first time, and I'm very excited to ride this race. And yesterday we did a Twitter ride, and it was also really nice, so I'm a little bit nervous.
The Dutch-based Liv Planteur squad consisted of 4 riders, and the local Activate Demicon squad joined them at the sign-on ahead of the race. The 1.1 status means the winner will get 125 points, and there are precious points available right the way down to 25th place. It was a proud moment for women's sport in South Africa, and more particularly for the cycling fraternity. The race was now at an international level, affording riders from Africa and the rest of the world the chance to gain those points to guide them towards the Olympics next year. Plenty of tension on the start line. And then they were away, leaving the start venue at Riversands Commercial Park near Fourways on their 94.7 kilometre journey through and around Johannesburg, a world-class African city. The weather was set fair, no chance of rain, but in keeping with recent conditions in the Gauteng area, temperatures were expected to reach the mid-30 degrees centigrade later in the day. Team Bigler's Sharon Lords from England up front early on. She knows the event well and will look to set it up for Ashley Moolman-Pasio.
Well, there's a lot stronger teams here than when I've raced before, but still quite small teams, so only 4 in most of the international teams. So it's going to be interesting. I think a lot of watching people, but for sure it's going to be a really hard race. I rode on when I arrived, and I could definitely feel the altitude. So, and also the heat and the early start is very different for the European riders.
Doris Schweitzer from Switzerland and Lara Koppenberg from Germany were the other members of the Bigler lineup. A year ago, Moolman-Pasio finished second to the great Marianne Vos, the Olympic champion, who was here once again, but sadly not riding due to the after effects of a long-term illness. So this was the opportunity for the national champion to claim one of the biggest prizes on the South African scene.
Beautiful day in Joburg. I'm really looking forward to the race. I think it's going to be a great showcase of women's cycling. So some nice competition here today, and I'll be giving it my best to win.
She's the highest-ranked South African on the UCI standings at number 6. Her best results this year were 2 second placings at the Emma Comine Bira and the Giro dell'Emilia. She was 4th at the Flèche Wallonne and the GP de Ploux de Bretagne. And Ashley and her teammates were prominent from the start. Among the South African teams in the field were 2 from CSA's Women's Commission, 2 from the biggest club in the country, Cycle Lab, Team Dimension Data and Team Clover Presidio were also represented, as were Team Bestmed ASG, Cycle Nation, Team Momentum, Team Subs had 12 riders in the field, split into 2 squads, Team Time Freight E-Team were 8 strong, and Team Mommy's Kitchen had 6 riders. The rest of the African continent were well represented as well. Riders from Botswana, Egypt, Eritrea, Ethiopia and Rwanda riding for the World Cycling Centre, while Swaziland had sent their national team. And joining Liv Planteur and Bigler from Europe were the multinational Tipco SVB squad.
I really didn't know what to expect from the race because we didn't know the women were starting here, and it was a bit weird to start, but after a month rest and then start again training 2 weeks and did a race, that was really hard. And I was also a bit nervous and didn't know how the other girls were riding, and I was very nervous.
The route was a repeat of the 2014 one, taking them from Blue Hills through Kyalami and Woodmead, past Sunnyhill, and onto the M1 North all the way up to Joe Slovo Drive. They'd rejoin the highway at the M2 East before linking up to Jan Smuts Avenue, which would take them right through the leafy green parks and northern suburbs, on through Randburg, Douglasdale and Bryanston, Kaya Sands, off Cedar Road and into Stain City, before finishing back at River Sands. Perfect early morning conditions. They charged through the first hydration station, no stopping for this group. Tim Bigler on the front, Clara Kuppenberg doing the pace setting, Doris Schweitzer on her wheel. They were approaching Woodmead, where the old race used to start. There was plenty of loud support from the women as they made their way through the hydration station. Out of the saddle and on the attack, Tamarin Kritzman of Team Mommy's Kitchen. Her move ignited a response from the bunch, and they set about closing the gap. Even though it was only around 24 k's into the race, no team was going to be allowed to escape just yet. Then the first aggressive move for the race favourite, Mulman Passio, as she led the hunt for the lone leader. Right on the wheel, Anneli Kachelhoff of Activate Demicon. Soon they were closing in on Kritzman. Her solo attack snuffed out. The pace was high, stringing the peloton out. They were approaching the right turn onto the M1 North. And again, Team Bigler aggressive. Activate Demicon, with the most successful women's team on the local racing scene, were pulling them back through Anneli Kachelhoff. Already it was clear to see the elevation in competitive levels in the race with the injection of the overseas riders. Over the M1 bridge. A look over her shoulder for Anneli Kachelhoff tells her the group is all back together again. Those new to the race will know it's not a flat city, and they'd already made their way up all the way to the M1, which is a long drag. There's plenty of climbing to come, though. One of the race favourites is Activate Demicon rider Anneli Kachelhoff. A former multi-sport star, she's made huge strides on the road racing scene, both in South Africa and in Europe over the last few years.
Definitely a lot of UCI points up for grabs. I think most of our riders, especially the South Africans, are on top form, and if we all stick together, I think we'll be able to do quite fine. And yeah, it's a big one, and we'll see how it plans out at the end. I actually don't think it's added stress at all. I think it's actually better for me. It's better. I like harder racing, and I like tougher racing, and the harder the race is, the better for me. So there's always a little bit of nerves, and it's normal with cycling, but yeah, I don't think there's any added pressure or anything. We're just going to go out. It's a normal race, and yeah, we're going to have fun, and we're going to take it as it comes.
They cruised the M1 North Highway, James and Ethel Gray Park to their right. Teams starting to think about making a move with the climb up the Parktown Harton Ridge looming. A spectacular morning in Johannesburg. The tempo and gradient had thinned the field out, with a large group around 50 well ahead of the rest. Prominent were the bright yellow colours of Team Time Freight E-Team, with Lisa Ulufi, who heads up the Women's Commission in South Africa, very prominent as well. A peel off the M1 and onto Joe Slovo Drive. The third hydration station just opposite the Wilds, and some riders struggling to stay with the increased tempo. Indeed, the injection of aggression had thinned out the bunch considerably. And laying down the law on the front was none other than Ashley Mulman Passio. This was a critical phase of the race, and she'd taken a small group of riders up the road with her. On her wheel, Ethiopian Kidani Hadnet from the WCC team. The short drag up St Andrews Road, and Another chance to distance her rivals from Moolman-Pasio. Kachelhofer desperate to stay in touch. They were approaching the Berea Ridge, the highest point on the route. Once on the southern side of it, Watersrand's watershed, they flew down through Berea and past Ponty City. The group of 4 now on the front. Joining Moolman-Pasio and Kachelhofer were Liv Planteur, Sabrina Stiltens and Eritrean Johanna Menges from the WCC squad. They were doing speeds in excess of 70 k's an hour. In the second bunch, Team Time Freight were working on the front to try and bring the lead back. The gap was growing all the time. The business and commercial hub of Africa, the backdrop to the leading quartet as they work together. Stiltens, Moolman-Pasio, Kachelhofer and Menges. It looked rosy for now, but things had been tough for Moolman-Pasio.
I had a rocky start to the Momentum 947 race. My bike has been running perfectly all week, and even on the Twitter ride yesterday it was running super smooth, and then just before the start I took it for a little test ride and suddenly having trouble to change from the small blade to the big blade, and went straight to the mechanics, and there was quite a lot of panic because for some reason it just was giving so much trouble there and they couldn't figure out what was wrong. So the time was ticking, and I must say it took a lot to try and stay calm, and eventually with 5 minutes to go the decision had to be made that I have to stay on the big blade all day because they couldn't find a solution. So yeah, rolled to the start line. I must say a little bit apprehensive or nervous because I wasn't sure what to expect having to be on the big blade all day.
The swing through the streets of Johannesburg is a real highlight of the Momentum 947 Cycle Challenge. Gandhi Square, the focal point. It can be tricky with a number of twists and tight corners. The leaders safely through. The gap now just over half a minute. The chase bunch were working furiously to try and close that gap. Bigler would be sitting in. The iconic Mandela Bridge. They were heading out of town. And still the quartet worked together. Flying down past Helpmekaar School onto Jan Smuts Avenue. The second bunch now, 23 strong, appeared to be content to let the race slip away as they cruised across the bridge. They were passing some of the slower riders from the early start groups. Sweeping down the fast descent on Jan Smuts Avenue can be treacherous. Oh, stopping at the hydration station. And trouble for Moolman-Pasio. A fast, hard fall on the descent on Jan Smuts Avenue. A quick assessment of the damage.
So starting off the day with bad luck with the mechanical issues, you know, I just kind of got my head around that in the race, sort of halfway through. And then descending Jan Smuts. I still don't really know exactly what happened, but I think what happened is I hit a hole and my hands came off the handlebars, and tried my best to autocorrect, but it wasn't to be, and found myself sliding along the tar. And first thought that went through my mind is, oh no, I saw the bike sliding and on the side of the derailer, and I thought, oh, that's my bike gone, and race over.
The national champion is made of sterner stuff, though. Having checked for those serious breaks, she decided to get back on her bike. Amazing stuff. Sharon Laws, a former winner of the race, was soon by her side, as was Clara Kuppenberg. And so began Bigler's big fight back. The 947 Archer Dunkeld, the leading trio, now on a mission. They were over halfway, but things were getting tough as they rode up towards Randburg. It was soon chased down, and Bigler on the front once again. One of the most tree-lined cities in the world, welcoming the women as they moved through the Europcar support station in Randburg. What a vibe for the women.
Yeah, it was really hard today. It was very early this morning, especially also that we are on attitude. We came Friday night, so we had one day to recover a bit. And yeah, yesterday during the Twitter ride I had also a bit of problems with breathing and the altitude and the heat. And yeah, but yeah, it went well. Yeah, the first hour the speed was quite low, so it was not. Yeah, the speed was not as high as in Europe, but yeah, after half of the race, it was really hard. It was not so nervous, so yeah, I was happy with that. Yeah, and the roads, they are really long, straight, and yeah, that's really a big difference with Europe.
Wonderful to have some of the best teams and riders from the International Women's Peloton racing the Momentum 947 Cycle Challenge. New Zealander Joanne Kizendowski from TIBCO making sure she was well fed on the route. Up front, Ashley Moolman-Pasio, showing no apparent ill effect from a nasty crash, took the bull by the horns and poured on the pressure.
We're doing like on plan. We are on plan at the moment. Unfortunately, it seems that we have some problems with Ashley's bicycle, which we cannot change at the moment. So we see how that is going to work in the final. But now the hard part is coming.
Great support from the spectators once again. Liv Planteau were also expecting big things.
Yeah, we're doing good. We had Sabrina Stiltjes in the front group when they went on the climb in Joburg. So it looks like she's in a good shape. She has a good day. Floortje Makai is also still in the group. She has normally a good sprint, so hopefully she can hang on in the last climbs and finish it up in the end, I hope. We will see. They are in the off-season now, so they are not in top shape, but they're still hanging on, so it looks good.
They're now on the extension of Malibongwe Drive, and the pace was increasing as the road tilted ever so slightly uphill. The riders getting out of the saddle, alert to the possibility of an attack. Activate Demicon, Bigler, Liv Planteau and TIBCO all had riders handily placed near the front. The long right-hander took them onto the R114. A narrow road, and this is where Sharon Laws put the hammer down. This was a key move, coming as it did within the last 20 kilometres. A powerful surge by the 41-year-old former British champion and 2012 winner. It had a very busy racing year as an important domestique in the Team Bigler lineup. Sharon is also a former winner of the Cape Epic. The strung-out peloton, evidence of the damage Sharon Laws was doing to this lead group. Her teammate Clara Kuppenberg continued to work hard alongside a Mauritian Kim Lecourt of Time Freight. And in this little bunch, Charlene Dupree of Clover Prestigio. Battling to stay in touch. After being caught, Laws watched as Moolman-Pasio used her teammates' attack to launch her own assault on the Cedar Road climb. Passing the racing tandems who were shouting their encouragement, it was now or never for the brave Bigler rider, South Africa's best performer on the global cycling circuit over the last 5 years. She had big blade only due to her mechanical problems at the start and a torn shirt and shorts. Yet she was totally focused on the job to be done here. A glance over her shoulder would have told her she'd timed her attack well. The gap was growing.
Every step of the way, you know, from the word go, it was all on Bigler to make the racing, and the girls did a great job. And they really helped me set it up already on Joe Slovo, where the initial break went. And then when they saw me come back to the peloton all ripped up, they were just incredible. Just helped me to stay mentally focused, to stay patient and calm, and they just did a great job of putting the pressure down on the climbs. And as they started the climb, I started to see the others dropping off, and I thought, well, this is the time. I need to go. I need to join Sharon. She's done all of this for me. Now I need to be there. And yeah, put in an attack. Maybe a good thing I only had the big blade, because I think that's eventually what made all the others suffer. You know, I had to really keep the power on, and yeah, I tried to encourage Sharon to come with me, but I think, you know, it had been a hard day for her. And when I looked around and no one was on my wheel, I thought, well, now I have to go.
And go she did. Ashley crossed the line to take the Queen of the Mountains hotspot on Cedar Road. Less than 8 kilometres to the finish, she was in the perfect position. Through the gates of Staines City, the bunch was chasing hard. But no one was really taking the initiative.
Yeah, normally the races in Europe, it's just the men's and the women's race or something, and here it's a really big event, and it's nice to see so many people, so many women also on the bike. So I think it's really good for women's cycling also to promote it.
Restricted to her big chain ring only, it was a great advantage. Ashley giving everything, bruised and battered after a fall. Turning up towards the finish at River Sands, and the line was in sight. This was the culmination of an incredible fight back by Ashley Moolman-Pasio. Crashing on her bike at the Jan Smuts descent, she showed amazing courage to power to victory. Set up by her Biglet teammates, she soloed her way inside the last 10 kilometres to become the first woman to win the Momentum 947 Cycle Challenge 3 times. Behind her, the dash was won by Sabrina Stiltens to take second ahead of her Liv Planter teammate Floortje Mackay.
Got a nice breakaway on Joe Slovo, which I think was great. It put the others under pressure, but man, on a fast descent into the suburbs, I don't know what happened, but I came down hard. And for a second, I thought my race was over, but my team was absolutely incredible. Biglet supported me amazingly today. They brought back the breakaway, and then it was just a case of being patient. And I went away on Cedar Hill, and man, I just can't believe to take the win. It's just amazing to win Momentum 947, so really happy.
And we saw especially the last 10K that it was quite hilly, especially the Queen of the Mountains climb. That was a really hard one, so I thought that there was something to happen there, and it was so.
Yeah, really nice. I really didn't expect that it was like this, that Sabrina got second and I got third, and it's good for the team, and I think it's nice.
Yeah, so we're really happy. We came here for Ashley to win, so job done, and we worked really hard, and we made a few mistakes, but and Ashley had a really bad crash as well in the race. When I saw her jersey, I was like, this is not good. And then she'd ripped her jersey really badly too, so it was not great, but we managed to get back to the group, and then we made it really hard, and luckily it worked out.
Ashley, 2 hours, 34 minutes and 1 second, an average speed of 36 kilometres an hour. She was 57 seconds ahead of Stiltens. Great ride by Ethiopia's Tsegba Gebere in 4th, and top triathlete Andrea Stein in 5th for the Subs Heroes. A truly significant day for the Momentum 947 Cycle Challenge, and particularly for women's cycling in South Africa.
Oh, absolutely special, and and even more special because of Ashley Pasio-Moolman, our sponsored rider, winning it. She's so close to us, and we want to congratulate her. But we also want to congratulate all the ladies who came out and made this race, taking it to a different level.
It was a great spectacle of road racing. Credit to them and to the race organisers for the initiative in getting UCI status for the event.
Yeah, I think we could encapsulate the morning as an extremely exciting and incredible ladies' race. We made history today, and I think everybody who was a part of it got the warm, fuzzy feeling that we pulled off a UCI 1.1 ladies' race. And I think the bigger challenge was that it was a race within the race. We've got 33,000 other people who are taking on their challenge and riding for their purpose, and to have calibre of international riders here taking part in what has become an iconic event in Joburg has been an incredibly exciting journey, and a lot of hard work and a big team effort, as I said, but an incredibly big thank you to Cycling South Africa, Momentum, and obviously 947.
Meanwhile, thousands upon thousands of riders were either out on the roads of Johannesburg or preparing to start their races. Among them, many thousands of women who no doubt have gained incredible inspiration from the prominence the elite race had gained. In fact, this year has been a breakthrough year for women's cycling, with 2016 promising even greater coverage and event participation for the pro-women races. The Momentum 947 is a race for all. Many thousands have taken up the challenge of riding for a purpose, adopting a cause and committing to completing the race for that cause. They come from far and wide, some for the annual pilgrimage, others for the first big race of their cycling lives. The event brings South Africans together in celebration of cycling and the once-a-year opportunity to own the roads of Johannesburg. The 19th edition of the Momentum 947 Cycle Challenge, a wonderful success. Officials and people of the city of Johannesburg, you put on a great show. The Momentum 947 Cycle Challenge proudly brought you the UCI 1.1 Ladies Race, presented by Momentum and 947.